So at the moment we should be live. Let's check. Yes, we are live. So let's get the stream link into the Discord first. As of course most people are now on their outlets. I'll be back in a minute. So I'm back. Let me know as always, of course, if the audio is alright. So welcome along everybody. Qualifying has just started. Most of the drivers are now on their first flying laps. As of course it was McLaren who won the last two races, and of course Singapore and Monza. The Monza stream is on my YouTube channel, but at Singapore the points didn't count because of a lot of incidents. But now we are here for a fresh Grand Prix here at Losail with Sam Arling setting the time to beat with a provisional pole of a 1 minute 20.3, as we have 6 drivers over the line for the first time. Half of them with a 1 minute 20 and the other half with a 1 minute 21, as they are now at 4. So Sam on provisional pole, then we have Liagos, Dom, Dylan, Red Flame Joe, Josh and Khalil. The Alex VLEON coming in, and I think we have some people going in the middle there as well. So let's put on the track map. Normally when we have some yellow flags, it's mostly people going slow to let a faster car pass, but you never know if someone crashes. But that's the main reason that we have a lot of yellow flags in this one and only qualifying session. So we have 12.5 minutes remaining, and then we move on to the race. Let's have a look. Is someone on a flying lap? We still need to set a lap time. Let's have a look with Razza, as he goes to P10 for the moment with a 1 minute 21.4. I think there's room for improvement there, as most of the drivers are now into the pits again for some fresh rubber, but we still have some guys out there. For example, the Mercedes from Bannik. Welcome along everybody once more. Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver, as I think the only Red Bull together with him out there is going to be entering the pits this lap, as Bannik sets a beautiful lap time. It's a 1 minute 20.5, perfectly in the middle, sandwiched between Sam and Liagos, as Sam still has provisional pole with 11 minutes left on the clock. Some people coming out of the garage again, and the Red Bull is back into the pits, as we see Liagos already back on track with a McLaren. It's Luca, as we expect a good lap from him as well. He didn't set a lap so far, so maybe we should follow him after his out lap, of course, and maybe we can go on board with him. So Luca got track limits there, but it's only the out lap, of course, so that doesn't matter. As long as he finishes his flying lap between the lines, then he should be fine. As at the left side of your screen, you guys can see the qualifying results for the moment, as we are going to go on board with Luca, as he's just outside of the track with the majority of his car, but his right front tire was still on the track, so that was good enough to stay inside of the track limits, as he is sliding a bit. Let's see what he can do. Of course, there's still enough time left to maybe set 1 or 2 more flying laps after this one. Let's hope he won't have that much traffic, as we see a Haas ahead. It's either VLEON or Mikel Sanchez. It's VLEON, but Luca got nicely past him. As through the final corner he goes. What will it be for Luca? He goes to P8 at the moment with a 1 minute 21.2. Sam still has that lap time to beat. Let's have a look. We still need Mikel Sanchez to set a lap together with Crisu, as in the meantime Sanchez sets a 1 minute 21.3, and Crisu goes to P6 at the moment with a 1 minute 20.9. So everyone has set a lap. These 16 drivers can still, of course, push for more, as this will be the starting grid for the race after this qualifying session. Welcome along, everybody, once more. If you're just joining in, we are halfway through the only qualifying session of this Grand Prix here at Lusail in Qatar. So let's see if anyone can beat Sam for pole, or can Sam maybe even secure that position with an even better lap. Of course, let me know, guys, if you want to see someone on board on his flying lap. We still have loads of yellow flags because of people going slow. And of course that's normal in qualifying. Let's have a look. Is someone here going fast? Of course, most of the lads are already back into the pits. And then they will soon go for probably the final flying lap of this qualifying. Let's follow Bannik. Maybe he can go faster, as he is pushing to get to the top of qualifying. Not only the front row, but P1. Of course, it's dark out here, so the lights are on in these warm temperatures. So hopefully the esports drivers are handling it well in the racing seats. I wonder if anyone is actually playing on controller, but I guess that most people are on a wheel, as Bannik is out of fuel, I guess, because he's going very slow, and this track is eating your fuel. Probably the track where you will need the most amount of fuel compared to the other tracks to get to the finish line, as especially when you are pushing to the maximum, then you will start to lose your fuel in no time, as everybody is into the pits except for Liagos at the moment in his Aston Martin for Team HRT. Let's have a look where they are in the standings, actually, as it's still difficult for me to link the in real life teams with the esports teams sometimes, but it's nice that the majority of the drivers have the esports teams in the name. So let's have a look at the standings, as HRT are in 5th with Liagos, also of course with Abyss, who is in P12 for the moment, as they are really in the midfield of this competition, as NLR, who have Sam and Luca racing today, are still leading comfortably with 44 points ahead of EVE, which is Williams tonight, with Josh and Domm. If you're just joining in, guys, we have a little bit more than 2 minutes remaining, which means one more flying lap, and Liagos has aborted this lap, so maybe it's already done and over for him, but it looks good in P3, but maybe someone can beat him. So we'll see in the following minutes, as Liagos goes back into the pits. That's his qualifying done and over, but it seems like a decent position. Let's have a look at the others though. Can someone still be a contender for pole position? So at the moment, either the drivers are into the pits or they are on their out laps for that final push. which will of course make your place on the grid for the race after this session, as loads of drivers are close to the curb there in that first corner, as Dylan and Josh are already on that flying lap, and I think Josh will be the first one to cross the line, and then we'll have to see who will follow him, together with Dylan of course. So let's go on board with Josh Rose. Very tactical middle sector of course, and fast sectors across the whole track, especially in the first and third sector, as Josh is on the tail from his teammate, but I think he got track limits. Maybe he can get there in time to still set a lap, but I think it will be too late for his battery to recharge by that time. So let's have a look maybe with Dylan, who will soon cross the line. Can he improve? It's a decent improvement, as he goes up to third with a 1 minute 20.6. Can we see some more improvements here? I think that's a Red Bull driver here from Redza, but he's entering the pits after getting track limits. Some guys are already retiring because of course qualifying is almost done and over. As I'm looking to the left side of the screen, and I don't see anyone improving his lap time big enough and great enough to beat Sam. Most people are across the line. Let's see what Abby's can do. Can he improve? Yes, he can. Up to 5th, now 6th, together with his teammate. P5 and P6 for Aston Martin, aka HRT. As I think we are done now with qualifying. Just waiting for Josh to get to the finish line. As Sam is on pole, then we have Franek, who is sandwiched between the McLarens. Of course, Luca in P3. Then we'll have Dylan in P4, Domm in P5. Then we have both HRT drivers with Liagos and Abyss. Ryan in P8, Joe in P9, then Crisu in P10, Khalil in P11. Josh will take P12, who is now entering the pits and his pit box. Then we'll have Mikel Sanchez in P13, Razza in P14, then Isma in P15, and VLEON in P16. So that was it for qualifying, as we'll soon go to the race of course, as the drivers will need enough fuel of course. So let's hope they won't forget and get enough fuel in that car, otherwise they might run out of it towards the end of the race. As these are the qualifying results once more, if you want to have a look at it, you can see it here. As of course McLaren is still doing an awesome job. Let's see if they can do the same in their race. So welcome everybody. We are now going to race here in Qatar, as the red lights will soon go out for a spectacular race, as the drivers will now set their strategies together with maybe the most important part, the amount of fuel to put in the car. As I'm curious about these strategies today, will we see a safety car, or will it be a clean race like in Monza? I don't remember if there were any safety cars back then, but we'll see if this will be a good one as well, as sooner or later the strategies should be done and applied, as we see the pit boxes, and I'm waiting to see the 16 cars of today on the main straight. Will McLaren be victorious again, or will they struggle here at night in Qatar? We're about to see it in a couple of moments. They actually take quite a lot of time to maybe get a different setup as well. I don't know if Parc Fermé is off for the race and qualifying, so they can also change their setups from a qualifying setup to a race setup to be more friendly for their tires and also the fuel. Welcome 11 viewers. We just finished qualifying and we're waiting for our drivers to ready up for this race. Will it be a medium hard strategy, or will it be a 2-stop without safety cars? Will we have even more pit stops with safety cars? We'll see. I'm gonna check with Varen if I'm not the only one. I hope I'm not the only one. Yes, we are going for 5 red lights now here at Qatar. It's lights out and away we go. That's a decent start for Sam, and Luca is already overtaking Bannik, but he is on the inside and stays in P2 as Luca is losing some places there. Down to P6 for the moment as Domm, Liagos and Dylan snatch up to a place in front, as it's chaos everywhere again. People losing and gaining places, but I think most people are still okay with not too much damage, as Sam is in the lead, followed by Bannik. Then we have Domm, as there's a crash at the back between VLEON and Ismeal, as they are now losing loads of seconds to the pack ahead. As I was talking about Sam in the lead, followed by Bannik. Then we have Domm, Liagos, Ryan and Dylan. And then we have Luca, who lost some places, who's now in P7. With Josh in P8, Abby's in P9, as they are already fighting for the final points, as Sam across the line for the first time together with the others. 28 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope for a nice race today. You see some yellow flags once more, and it's the Aston Martin from Abyss together with the Red Bull of Joe who went off there. As I see the right front ring and plate missing on that Red Bull, so he will definitely need to make a pit stop to replace that front ring, because I think it's not ideal to drive around this circuit with damage on your front wing, maybe also on the rest of the car. So we are on lap 2 and we already had 2 crashes, both with 2 drivers. As if there won't be a safety car in this race, then they will probably struggle to get to the points. As Domm is in P2 for the moment with a 1 minute 24.7 by Dylan for the fastest lap at the moment. Can Domm make a move on Sam if he has the DRS on him? Or will he lose a place again? With Bannik and Liagos also in this battle. And we have the V-Carps, aka XR8s, in the back to also get to this pack. With Luca behind them. And then we have Josh. So it's a mix between NLR, XR8 and EVE. And then we also have Liagos and Bannik in between them. Let's see, can anyone make a move here on the main straight thanks to the DRS and maybe some good battery management? I see Liagos very close to Bannik, as Josh has the fastest lap for the moment with a 1 minute 24.7, Khalil 0.6, as he's on that medium compound tire, as Abyss goes quicker now with a 1 minute 24.5 on the hards. So Sam got pole position, and on lap 4 he's still leading the race. Michael is getting the first time penalty of this race. It's a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limits. As it stands, most people are just driving and probably managing the tires. Let's have a look at the tires. So the majority of the field started on the hard compound tire, and some people are on the mediums. Also the Red Bull from Joe made a pit stop to fresh mediums after that right front wing and plate missing. As Domm is making a move on Sam, because Sam isn't having any DRS, of course, when he is in first place. So Domm takes the lead on lap 5 into turn 1. He's leading the race, but can he hold on to that lead? That's the question, because Sam is very aggressive. They made a little bit of contact there. I hope Sam's front wing is okay there. As if they are making a collision together, that might get a move for Bannik and Liagos. Let's look behind Domm, as we see loads of drivers behind him, so a small mistake will cost you loads of positions, as it's the fastest sector 2 for Domm. So this was a great lap for him. Starting lap 5 with an overtake for the racing lead. And now going quickest in sector 2. Sam is going to re-overtake Domm for the racing lead. As it's a 1 minute 24.4, I think, for the fastest lap at the moment. But towards the end of this race, with less fuel in the car, we will probably have even quicker laps. So Domm was leading the race on lap 5, and Sam was leading it from lap 1 to 4, then lost it on lap 5, and now he has it back again on lap 6. Mainly because of the drag reduction system. Joe with the fastest lap at the moment, a 1 minute 24.2, as he's at the back of the grid on fresh mediums after a crash earlier on. Michael with another penalty. He's the only one with a penalty so far, and it's the second one, so that's a total of 6 seconds as Josh is making a move here on Ryan. Let's see if we can see a move at the main straight as Domm goes past Sam again. Thanks to that main straight. As Bannik almost had a look there on Sam as well in that fight for the podium places. As Isma is out of this race, did he retire on track? Or did he have a crash? I don't know. But at the moment, it looks like his car is safe and already removed from the track. So no safety car, no virtual safety car. We continue racing on lap 7. With Sam very close towards Domm. As I like this shot at the back of the Williams car from the team of EVE. Now with the DRS wide open for Sam, I thought he would make an overtake. Yes, he is. But Domm, who was almost looking to brake really late and still stay in P1. But it's Sam who is back into the lead, as it looks like we are switching positions each lap at the same place, which is of course the main straight, as it's hard to overtake at other corners and other places, with VLEON also getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits. So DLX is not looking very good at this stage of the race, both outside of the points, both with some penalties, struggling at Qatar. As at the moment it looks like McLaren is the best constructor in Qatar as well, being in P1 and P6 for the moment, as Raza just made a move on Khalil in the fight for P9, as Liagos is fighting here with Dylan. in the fight for P4 and possibly the podium places. And we'll have to see when these hard times will end. Because of course we don't know if the drivers will go for a 2-stop or a long 1-stop. Joe also taking a penalty there at the back. So let's go back to the big view to see if anyone can overtake thanks to the DRS, as Sam has a big DRS train behind him. I think it's about 7 cars, but he stays into the lead on this lap. Lap 10 out of 29. Luca getting past Liagos for P5. Can he push even further to get to Sam, aka his teammate? We'll have to see if Analog can hold on to these great performances, as Liagos is really trying to make things difficult for Luca, as Luca needs to stick to the pack in front, otherwise he might struggle without DRS. Let's have a look a little bit more at the front again, as Domm goes past Sam again, as Bannik was trying to take a look again, but he stays comfortably in P3 for the moment. Dylan in P4, Luca in P5, Liagos in P6, and Josh in P7, with Ryan being the end of this train, as Crisu is in a fight here together with some lads for the final points. As there's a spin, the Haas from Mikel Sanchez, I think, got into the back of Khalil, which should possibly be a penalty for the Haas driver, crashing the SET driver, Kahil Rickford. That's really unfortunate for him, as he's now outside of the points. Let's go on board with Bannik for this time on the main straight. Can we see a nice view of Sam getting past Domm? Yes, we can. But can Bannik also overtake Domm? He still stays in P3 and he's struggling for grip there through the first corner, as I think these tires are at the end, so in a couple of laps they definitely should make a pit stop. So I guess it will be a 2-stopper, with this track killing the tires very fast. And let's hope, of course, that they all have put enough fuel in the car so they can drive all the way through the checkered flag. It's still quite difficult to predict if Sam or Domm will win this race, as Joe sets the fastest lap with a 1 minute 23.3, I think, as he is on softs at the back of the grid with already a second stop today, as VLEON also already made a pit stop. As into turn 1, Sam is still in the lead. Either Sam is doing a great job, or maybe Domm is recharging his battery while having that DRS on Sam. They are almost touching each other, as I thought for a second Domm would go into the back of Sam there. But luckily, it's hard racing, and they are still doing an awesome job out there, as we are almost halfway through this race. Welcome along, everybody, once more, as you guys should let me know if you think Sam or Domm will win it, or maybe someone else. We have another retirement. It's Joe, as I think he will think that he won't score any points today, with Domm in the meantime going back to P1, thanks to, of course, you'll never guess it, the DRS. Luca is getting past Dylan, as Dylan goes now back past Luca. That overtake wasn't ideal from Luca, so Dylan could get easily back into P4. Let's maybe have a look at the position changes so far, as Josh gained 6 and Domm 4. So that's quite interesting. If you want to make a vote for driver of the day, maybe they will introduce it back into the server. Let's go back to the tires now. As maybe I was wrong. I was thinking it should be a 1-stop today, but no, I was thinking it would be a 2-stopper, sorry guys. But now it will be a 1-stop, I guess, because these hard tires are still driving. They are still running it. But I was thinking they will make a 2-stop, because I saw some guys sliding here and there, as Abis is overtaking Michael and Razza is fighting with Crisu in the fight for P9. But Razza has a time penalty, so Crisu needs to think about that. Maybe he can gain the place thanks to that by even staying behind him on track. Khalil getting his way past Michael, probably because of the DRS as well, so he can have a fight for P12 with Michael, as Luca is the first driver in the main train from the top 8 to also get a 3-second time penalty. So this will be very dangerous to lose loads of places. Either you will win some if you keep it inside of the track, or yeah, you can win some, you can lose some, because of all these penalties, as it's hard to stay inside of the track here. With Josh into the pits for fresh hearts, I think. I don't know if he was on the mediums at the start. Let's have a look. Pit stops. So Josh, yeah, he went from the mediums to the hards. So he did an awesome job to get those mediums all the way to lap 15. That will be a good stint on the hards then, as Michael is also on fresh mediums, as he gets another 3-second time penalty. Sam is in the lead because of that pit stop from Josh, but the question is, when will he pit? Because Josh started on the mediums actually, and Sam and the top 10 for the moment started on hards, as he is sliding a lot, as Domm and Bannik are into the pits, as it's Domm in P4, Bannik in P5 and Luca in P6, with Liagos following as well. Let's see if anyone is faster with the pit stops, as Sam, Dylan, Ryan, Raza, Crisu and Abis stay out. 4 cars so close to each other getting outside of that pit. Will they stay ahead of that other car? I think they are. And sooner or later, the top 6 as it stands need to make a pit stop as well. So that will reorganize the grid again. Let's have a look. So Josh made the pit stop in first, but now the guys on the mediums are ahead of him. I think he also was the guy on the main straight who was trying to get ahead of the 4 drivers making a pit stop, but he's now behind them, as Sam and Dylan are also in the pits. Let's have a look. Where will they end up? As Ryan continues, with Dylan of course being in the pits. It's Abby's staying out for the moment as well. Let's have a look. Who will be the new racing leader after Ryan and Abby's enter the pits, as it's Bannik, ladies and gentlemen, who is now provisionally on P1. In P1 actually, should I say, as Ryan gets a 3-second time penalty. Really interesting. After Bannik were struggling behind Luca and Josh, but now we have some difficult times. We have Domm being in P5 at the moment, behind Luca, but Sam is very fast as well. Hunger for a move, as of course the order switched a bit, as we'll have to see who will come out in front. As now the old hearts are pitting as well. As I was talking that it was Josh, I think, who was fighting a lot for the leader of this race, but it was Domm, so sorry for my mistake. As of course they are both driving for EVE. But it's indeed Sam and Domm were fighting, as we have Luca in P1, but he has a 3-second time penalty. So that can cost him dearly, especially in this train. So if we have a look with the gap on leader, then you will see, because of that time penalty, he would be down to P6. But now, maybe he can help his teammate, Sam, to win the race. Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen. Two people getting past, as he's not letting the Mercedes pass him. It was the Mercedes from Bannik who lost some places because of it, as Sam is in the lead now again, with Domm closely behind. Well done by Luca to get his teammate in P1. It was literally a position swap. Who has the fastest lap at the moment? It's Joe, but he retired. So we'll see if anyone can go quicker than a 1 minute 23.3 for, of course, the fastest lap point. And the tires are pretty fresh, and I think they will last all the way until the end of this race. As after this lap we'll have 9 laps remaining, as Sam is now the one without DRS in this long train, all the way to P8 at top. But Ryan and Josh are struggling, so the train only has 6 drivers anymore. So this train consists of Sam, then we have Domm, Luca, Dylan, Liagos and Bannik. Very unfortunate for Bannik, as because of a little incident there on the main straight going into turn 1, being a bit aggressive with the top 6, of course. He got down to P6 now. But of course, if something happened, the FIA can always solve the problem. And Luca still has that time penalty for track limits, so that will put him in P5. As then Bannik would gain a place, of course. Same goes for Liagos and Dylan. Maybe Ryan can push for it as well. But they are not in the top 6 train, as it's a big fight, ladies and gentlemen, for the podium places, as it's also a big fight for P6, especially the top 6. Sorry. So Domm sandwiched between the McLarens from Sam and Luca, as Luca is going for a move around the outside, but Domm keeps his place on the inside. I think Luca is trying everything to create a gap between Domm and Sam, as Razza gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for track limits. Welcome everybody once more, as we have 8 laps remaining here in Qatar. Currently it's still Sam and Domm fighting for the win, but it's so close here between 6 drivers, as Luca will try everything he can, as he's pushing Dylan all the way to the other side of the track, and Sam is still in the lead, and Luca lost the place to Dylan. So So now it's Dylan his time to push for a higher place on the podium. Can he pull it off? Or will it be Dom and Sam fighting for the top spot on the podium? I think it will be, because he also takes a 3-second time penalty. So this means Liagos and Franek could actually fight for a podium place. Wow. All these penalties. Half of the grid who is still driving in this race is having a penalty for those track limits. As Sam is trying to create a little gap, it's 8 tenths between him and Dom. And Dylan will start the fight to Dom, who is having the better battery. It's Dom for the moment, but he's struggling to keep Dylan behind and to push for Sam, who is actually doing really good for not having DRS, as Raza and Abis are fighting at the back outside of the points. So we keep looking at the front with Josh getting a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at the back of our top 6 train. On board with Franek at the moment, to give you guys a good look at the 5 drivers in front of him, who are all battling for great points here tonight. Of course, there are no driver standings in this competition. It's only constructor standings. But in the meantime, VLEON also has retired on track with only around 5 laps remaining in this race. But luckily, there's no safety car. Maybe it would spice things up, but of course we always like a race without a safety car, because that means we didn't have loads of incidents. Of course, at the start of the race we had a couple of them at the back, as that also caused people to give up and retire from this race. But it's still not over, especially in the top 6. Can we still see some position changes here? They also all have somehow the same old tires. They are all on mediums, and they are all 8 to 9 laps old. As in the meantime, Dylan gets past Dom. 4 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Can we still see another racing leader? Or can Sam hold on to this lead? Let me put on the penalties so you guys can see who will lose or gain positions because of those penalties. It looks like Anna Law will be victorious again, but of course you never know in Formula 1. Also in esports, here on F124. As in real life, we are soon starting a new season as this is, I think, the third last race of the season. We will move to Saudi and Abu Dhabi, if I'm correct, and then there will be a new season in BRS as well. For the moment, we are still in Qatar, ladies and gentlemen, and it's 3 right into turn 1, and there's a crash. It's Domm who had a crash there, as both McLarens are now not anymore leading this race. It's Dylan in P1, but he has that time penalty, as there was a big crash, as everybody was sending it into turn 1, trying to fight for more points, but Domm has lost some places here. I don't know if he has any damage, but otherwise it will be some difficult final laps of this race. I don't see any right front wing plate on that Williams car, so it will be hard for EVE. It will be hard for Josh and Domm to still score good points here, as Bannik and Liagos are hungry for more. Let's have a look at the McLaren outfit as well. As Sam is getting his way past Dylan again. Same goes for Luca, just about, as it's a better exit for Dylan, but the inside is for Luca, as they touch as well. Luca and Dylan touched, as Crisu is getting past Razza in the back as well. Wow. 10-second penalty for Dylan. Razza also a new 3-second time penalty. What is going on? What did Dylan do? I didn't see it. Wow. That will surely cost him dearly. So that means that Sam is comfortably leading for the moment. And there's a small gap for the final podium place, which will be the big fight now, with Domm back into P3. And Luca, of course, has a penalty, as Dylan is giving it everything, even though he has a 13-second penalty. Let's have a look here from P3 all the way to P6, as we still have 4 cars fighting it all the way, as Dylan has left the session. I don't know if his internet is out, or maybe he gave up because of that time penalty. What is happening? Migrating host. I think I got kicked out. I'm not sure, because that's really unfortunate. Let's send it to Varen. What is happening? I see the podium now. I think that was it. We should ask if people are still driving, because this game is not alright. We had 2 laps remaining, but it's done already, so I will make sure we have screenshots from those final laps, as I will see you guys hopefully next week. Thanks for watching, and bye bye. Sorry for this mistake from the game.